Video tutorials by Andrew Buckle. In this tutorial, I'm just going to show you how to create a grid design in Photoshop. Now, first thing to do, just going to quickly create a layer. So a layer, a new layer. Click OK. Now I'm going to go up to the View and New Guide Layouts. Now you can go for something like 29, 30. What I want is just a nice little guide so I can create an even design around the edge. So you can set it to anything, 29, 50, whatever you want. So click OK. Now what I can do then, just go over here and I've got pixel options. I'm using the rectangle tool and I've got red there as the colour I'm going to use for my grid. So just using the guides just so I can just make them even very quickly. Just do that and again just drag that along and again just nicely even there. And I'm going to remove those now. So View, Clear Guides, don't want those. And I'm just going to click there. So what I'm going to do then is remove the background. Now, once I've done that, I can select all and edit and define pattern. You can see you've got the pattern there, just that thing there. Click OK. So next thing to do, I'm just going to quickly remove all that. I don't want that anymore. So now a layer and new fill layer pattern. Click OK. And you can set the scale. So you just go for 25. So you've got your basic grid there. You just got the grid, or 10. And of course you could have a different size document. You don't have to use this with the document I just originally created. But so you can set that to 5 and 3, etc. So I'm just going to quickly say set it to 50. Once you've got it 50, of course, because it's got transparency, which I created without having a background, you can then just go to Layer and New Fill Layer and Pattern. Click OK. Now that one's of course just not going to be much use, so I'm just going to just say 25. So you can actually see now I've got 2 layers, 10, and so on and so on. So you can create far more interesting sort of grid designs just by using that. And of course, if you actually bring up the pattern again, you can actually move them around. You don't actually have to keep them in the same place. So you can just have the grid like that, or maybe we're going to go for 5. So you've got 5, and then you can say, oh, I want another one. So layer and new fill layer and pattern, click OK. And again, you can set it to say 25 and just keep creating far more sort of complex grid designs. Click OK. Right, at that point you might turn around and say, well, I actually want to change the colour. I don't want to go with the red. Well, you can change the colour. You can just quickly change the colour. Say you might want to go for the lower ones. You can actually change it using adjustment layers, say. So layer, new adjustment layer, and hue and saturation, and just click OK, and then go over here to the properties, and you can move that around, and you can see you can change very quickly the colour of that. Now you might not particularly want to change it for, say, all of the things. So another option, and I'm just going to quickly go back now, don't want that, so you can go for perhaps use layer and layer style. So you can just then go to colour overlay. Now that of course doesn't work at that point, but there is of course a way around that. You can just go to layer and smart objects and convert to smart object. So now that one, which is obviously the top one, you can now go to layer and layer style and colour overlay. So you can just change the colour that way. Now unfortunately what it means of course is that you've lost the ability to move it around particularly easily, but you can of course quickly do that just by double clicking on there and then changing the scale at that point. So say 20 and then click OK, come out of that, save, and then obviously you've got the colour still as well as a new scale for the grid. I hope you found this of interest. Thank you much.